Charles, how are you today? Chris and Mike.
I'm good, my brothers. How y'all doing?
Charles playing against it's like Shaq trying to play again. Jeez, I mean, come on. At least Charles hit it right on the head. You know what? You guys can go looking for that fountain of youth. You ain't finding it. You know that?
Hey, man, it's going to be interesting. You know, Steve Kerr took an unbelievable gamble. I mean, he took an old guy and a hurt guy.
You tell me. Listen, I'm with you. I don't think it works, but give me an idea how it can work.
Well, it just depends on how much Shaq got left in the tank. I mean, it's like a no-brainer. I mean, if he don't have anything left in the tank, Phoenix is in trouble because they got him not only this year, they got him on the cap for $20 million a year for 2 more years. Everybody want to act like they know what's going to happen. I got to tell you, I'm going to sit back and wait and see. But nobody knows. But it just depends on how healthy Shaq is.
Well, let's go with the idea first there, Charles, that they had run their course with Marion. They weren't going to win an NBA championship. I heard rumors that he was, wants a big extension. He was kind of poisoning that locker room a little bit. I've also noticed the Suns have played very well. A lot of the good offense since he's been gone. What's the idea that maybe they had to move Marion because of the fact he had sort of run his course in Phoenix? How about that theory?
Well, they were not going to win the way they were put together. There's no doubt there. But Shawn Marion's a terrific player. But the thing with Shaq is, like I say, the guy makes $20 million for the next 2 years.
Right, but they would have had to give Marion a big extension at $17 million a year.
They didn't have to give him a big extension.
But then he's moping around and complaining that they didn't take care of him.
Shawn Marion makes $16 million this year and $17 million next year. Let him mope. The Suns got the best record in the NBA, or they could have traded him for a less expensive option. You know, the biggest thing with the Shaq thing is, if it does not work, your salary cap is screwed.
Yeah, I understand that.
And then by that time, it'll probably be the end for Steve Nash, and then you've got to start completely over.
Right.
If they don't win a championship this year, and I actually think they've got to win a championship this year. If they don't win it this year, I think they're in serious trouble.
I give you one team in the West on February 11th to win it all. Which team are you going to give me right now tonight?
Right now, tonight, I can't give you that answer because it depends on Andrew Bynum. I think if Andrew Bynum is healthy, the Lakers are the team to beat, to be honest with you. But I don't think Kobe and Gasol enough. But if Bynum is healthy, it's enough. It's all going to depend on Bynum. San Antonio, I got San Antonio, Utah, Lakers, and Phoenix are my top 4 teams. And if you press me, I'm going to go with the Spurs. I got to be honest with you. I just think they know how to win.
I would agree.
No Dallas there, Charles. They've had a very spotty year. What's up with the Mavericks right now?
They just not. I don't think they're tough enough. I just don't think they're tough enough mentally, top to bottom. They're not in my top 4 teams in the West right now.
You're not, okay.
What do you think of Denver?
If they can only play one end, he'd be the team to beat. But you have to play both ends of the court. From an offensive standpoint, I actually think they probably have the most talented offensive team in the NBA, but they play zero defense. I mean, absolutely zero. And I don't think they can beat any of the top teams in the West.
How about the idea, let's go back to Shaq, Charles. Charles Barkley, always a pleasure to talk to him. Let's go back to Shaq for a second. I watched Phoenix a little bit the last 3 or 4 days. I also saw a stat last night, Charles. They are 30th in the league in giving up offensive rebounds. They give up a ton of those with Shaq. Shouldn't that correct that mistake?
Well, it should. But that's only if Shaq can be active and moving around. I mean, like I say, was it worth the gamble? Maybe. But if it doesn't work, it's going to hamstring him for a long time. But nobody knows how much Shaq has in the tank. I mean, that's why we can't really make a definitive judgment on this trade. He might have been playing possum down in Miami. But we don't know the answer to that question. The one thing, he can't play possum in the West because there are too many good teams in the West. He just can't stand there. He's going to have to play well for Phoenix to win.
Mike and a Mad Dog with Charles Barkley. If you were sitting there and you were the GM, would you have pulled the trigger on that trade?
I would not have.
Okay.
For the simple fact, First of all, he's 36.
Right.
And if we don't win a championship this year, he's going to kill my salary cap for the next 2 years. That's why I personally would not have done the trade.